Hello there, and welcome to our virtual open house this year. I am Mrs. LeBrun, and I am your son or daughter's Algebra 2 CP, which stands for College Prep class. My email is on this page here. If you have any questions throughout the year, this is the best way to communicate with me. I typically get back that day or within 24 hours to anything that you need to know. Let's get started. So this is a picture of our classroom. The picture on the left here is where the students obviously sit. These are their desks. These are their partitions. The partitions stay up for the duration of the whole class. Desks are wiped down between each hour. I also have a charging strip there in the middle of the room that can reach pretty much all areas if kids do need to charge Chromebooks throughout the day. And the picture on the right is a set of TI-84 calculators that are used by the students if they would like. So I have enough for every class. And those also get wiped down after each hour if students do use them. Here's a few classroom procedures and rules that I follow in my room. A lot of these are also school rules, so it's probably something you've seen from other teachers in other classrooms as well. Number one this year being Chromebooks. They need to be brought with student every day to class, and they need to be fully charged when they get here in the morning. This year we are using everything online, so they get used a lot, maybe more so than they have in the past. So it is really important that each night they charge these fully and bring them to school ready to go. Food and drink, we're asking that kids aren't eating and or drinking throughout the day. Water is obviously fine to have along with them, but if we can keep our mask up as much as possible, not eating and drinking throughout the day except for at lunch, it just keeps everyone safer. Students must be in their seat when the bell rings. This is really just for first hour. Make sure students get to school on time and come to the class and are in their seat ready to go. Otherwise, they will be marked tardy. Throughout the day, this hasn't really been an issue because students are not gathering in the hallways and they're just going from class straight to the next class. So that really typically hasn't been an issue except for first and second hour, which starts our day. We're also asking that students stay in their seat for the duration of the whole class, except for in my class when they go to put their calculators away so I can wipe them down. But we do ask that they stay in their seats at their desk so that they're not gathering around and staying socially distanced at their desk. And then the partitions need to stay up. And I also don't have on here mask. Masks also need to stay up over their nose during class as well, except for the lunch period. They are allowed to take those off to eat. And then cell phone use in my room is not needed. There is nothing that I do with cell phones. So I ask the students to keep those put away. The topics that we cover in this class are really the first 5 chapters in the first semester, and then we kind of pick up where we leave off in second semester. So we are finishing up transformations of functions, like right now as we speak. Then we will move into quadratics, and we'll spend about 6 weeks in quadratics. So we'll be there till about Thanksgiving. Then we'll talk about some complex numbers, polynomial functions, and then typically after Christmas in January is when we will hit the rational exponents and radical functions. And sometimes I don't finish both of those. So we just kind of pick up where we left off at the end after final exams in January. This is how grades are calculated in my class. I have 2 different categories. Homework is one category. It makes up 30% of their grade. Each assignment that is submitted is 5 points, and this is how I grade it, because once it gets submitted, it's graded for them. So if they get an 80% to 100% on that assignment in the grade book, they would get a 5 out of 5. If they submitted the assignment and got a 60% to a 79%, I would put it in the grade book as 4 out of 5. So everything's out of 5 points, and I just kind of scale all those percentages over to a 5. Late assignments are accepted if they turn work in after the fact. They are responsible to let me know if they do that. Otherwise, I don't know because that does not notify me if something gets turned in late. But they do get penalized and receive only half credit for that assignment. If students are absent and they have work that they make up, then there's no penalty. But they are still responsible to send me an email and let me know that they turned in a grade that's already been put through. And then quizzes and tests make up 70% of their grade. Typically in Algebra 2, most chapters have 2 quizzes. The current one that we're finishing up with right now only had 1, but the rest of the chapters have a couple. They're bigger chapters, more material, so I try to break it up a little bit more and check in how they're doing more often. And then I also tell the students, and they'll see here on our first test, the format on the testing is very similar to what their quizzes will look like. So I highly encourage the kids to use the quizzes and the quiz reviews to study for the test, because the style of those questions will be the same. And then lastly, as I had mentioned before, everything is going to be online. So these are the three big online components that we use in our math class. Schoology is something that's used in every class here at Carlson this year, actually district-wide. In Schoology, if you ask your students to open up their pages, you would see that my warm-ups are in there. There's a folder for warm-ups that they work on when they come in this class each day. The notes are uploaded in there because it is kind of hard to see the board with all the partitions up. So I do give them access to have on their Chromebook right in front of them so they can see it a little bit better. Some of them have videos along with the notes. If I have created a video of the notes with subplans in the past, I will upload those for students to have that access. Grades are now found in Schoology, and all of our assessments, quizzes, and tests will also be taken in Schoology. Big Ideas, the next site there, that is our online book. So we are not handing out textbooks this year. If you do need a copy, then you can get one from Mr. Pahodi in the library, but it's not needed. There is a dynamic e-student book on this Big Ideas math site. And then the daily assignments that I would give are also in there. So they just submit them digitally. And then the other site that I use for homework is called Delta Math. So everything that we use here for math is listed here on the screen. I just wanted to thank you for watching the video. I look forward to having a great year with your student. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, on the first page of this video was my email. Please reach out and I will get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you. Have a good evening.